against him. I'm not surprised that he had no back down in his game, because he is a player that plays with confidence and swag. And it was really cool to see him get the job done, and the emotion at the 18th green with the interview with Amanda, especially for like a really kind of like, Jersey boy.
Tough
Good to see a little emotion
with the gold necklace. You're like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah, sure. that was super cool.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
And Twitter started blowing up that I think it was someone from TSN that was in the arena that was posting this stuff. And I'm sure, like, when they, it's a beer league, so after the first period, when they're all sitting there in the room, I'm sure somebody said, hey, Connor, you're getting lit up on Twitter. We're beating you 4-0. Ha, ha, ha. And he's probably thinking, like, I can't even play a beer league game without you guys, like, saying what the score is.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
And I showed you the Heisman odds a week or two ago, and they had Garrett Nussmeier as the second favorite behind Manning. So Brian Kelly's very excited to have Garrett back at school.
He is no athlete, in my opinion. You can quote me on that. Like, he is a clumsy white dude, and he sucked. I'm being nice now. Now all of a sudden you're talking about him being great? Oh, slow down there, Coach.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Shohei Ohtani can do something that nobody else in Major League Baseball can do. That means being maybe one of, if not the top 5 best hitters in baseball, and then go on the mound and throw some gems out here. Like, he threw 9 innings so far in his season, which isn't a lot, but that ERA is at 1. Are we saying that once he gets to 5 and 6 innings, that ERA is going to stay at 1? No, it isn't. But if it does, my goodness. I mean, just hand him the Cy Young on top of it as well. It's cheating.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Hello and welcome to a Friday Live right here on the Early Line on SportsGrid and all across the SportsGrid network. That includes sportsgrid.com/watch, where you can find your favorite destination to consume everything all across the grid. He is Donnie Right Side. I am Ben Stevens, live together for the next 3 hours up until 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Bright and early on this Friday. And DRS, you did it, you son of a gun. You powered through Hump Week or Hell Week. And on this Friday, Major League Baseball, the second half, the stretch run, post-All-Star break returns to our lives. We have a full slate Friday on the diamond, as all 30 MLB clubs have played at least 95 games of their 162 in this regular season. DRS, I have to look all the way over here if I want to see your reactions, so please keep them to a minimum while we are both on screen. Thank you. Part of the technical snafus that we have. But DRS, it is a glorious Friday nonetheless. We are under 2 weeks away from the start of the NFL season. Our second set of veterans, the Detroit Lions, report to training camp tomorrow, and plenty of NFL news to break down. And oh yeah, round number 2 at the Open Championship in Northern Ireland already underway bright and early on this Friday as well.
And most people say Friday is payday, but absolutely Thursday was payday for one defensive end that we knew was going to get paid. How much did he get paid and who that was? You'll certainly find out in just a few moments. But it is a good Friday here. Why? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, out of our lives, a full Major League Baseball slate as we head into the weekend. More football on the horizon at the end of this month. We will have that preseason game that we've been talking about ad nauseum for the past 4 weeks. But having said that, it just feels good today. Like there's 1 week out of every single year that, yes, when you're good at your profession, you could talk about anything over any hours that you're asked to do. But boy, isn't it nice when you have live game situations to talk about? Love it. Made it through the week. Congratulations to everybody. Let's enjoy Friday and the weekend.
That brilliant baseball mind will be on full display later on in hour 3. A full slate Friday as Major League Baseball gets underway post All-Star break. And DRS will be here to break it all down. But we start on another set of grass across the pond in some links golf for the 153rd playing of the Open Championship. Round number 2 already underway. So DRS, not a ton of reaction necessary, perhaps, to the opening 18 holes for everybody yesterday at Royal Portrush, but we had a 5-way tie atop the leaderboard. 5 guys all at 4 under. But now one man stands alone. The 2023 champion golfer of the year, Brian Harman, 4 under through 12 holes today. He is the outright leader at 6 under, not far behind 2 guys at 5 under, including one of those 5 that held the first round co-lead, Harris English. He's 5 under, and the fiery Englishman, Tyrrell Hatton, also 5 under par. Scotty Scheffler will go off later in, I guess, the evening hours over there later this morning in our 3rd hour, a little bit after 10 a.m. Eastern time, and opening around 68 on Thursday. And the Northern Ireland native, Rory McIlroy, under par in his opening round, even DRS in round number 2 so far through his first 9 holes.
Yeah, absolutely impressive to see some of these guys getting that jump start, including Brian Harman, the American storming the top of the standings, having the leader currently right now and a guy tied for second place in Harris English. It's going to be interesting to see once Scotty Scheffler actually gets back out on that golf course today. Does he make the charge? But anytime he's lurking, he's like a shark, man. He is a carnivore. When he's around that mix, he's going to bite sooner than later. We'll see if it's today and he winds up in first place.
33 guys, DRS, currently in red figures. That is under par. 46 of them at even par or better. The early projected cut line on this cut day Friday to over par in Northern Ireland. We will have Keith Stewart join us a little bit later on in hour 2 for all of the action that he has been seeing. Maybe with his own Irish accent over there at Royal Portrush. But a big Thursday, DRS, in terms of contracts and news and deals in a variety of sports. Let's start in the association. A homecoming for Damian Lillard back to the Rose City. Dame signs a 3-year, $42 million deal to return to the Portland Trailblazers. Of course, he was bought out and released, and then he will be paid and stretched over the next 5 years by Milwaukee. So his future was his to determine after a 13-year NBA career, DRS. The previous 2 in Milwaukee, the first 11 in Portland. That's not a jersey mock-up. Dame makes his return to the Rose City.
Yeah, and I say why. And here's why. He's the actual answer. Remember LeBron James, I forget what podcast he was on, talks about, you know what? The toxic culture of the NBA and basketball is actually ring culture. Like, you need rings to have success in the NBA. Well, Dame is proving it. You can have unbelievable amount of success in your bank account, but maybe not on the court itself. Usually guys, when they say, you know what, the completion of my career is going to get a ring on my finger. I don't want to have to ring chase and be the 8th man off the bench, but I can certainly contribute. Well, he realized once he went to Milwaukee, he was supposed to win and couldn't win. He's like, you know what, I give up. Pay me. I'll be a hero in Portland regardless if we win 5 or 10 games. But also understanding, like, Portland's supposed to be a rising young team coming up, and they're getting ancient quickly. I have no idea what Portland is doing, but congratulations, Dame. You'll make more money. You won't win anything, but I guess that's okay.
It's interesting, DRS. We kind of thought when Dame was waived by Milwaukee, he would have the pick of the litter to choose a championship contender, either entering this upcoming season or more than likely as he misses the entirety of 2025-26 to recover from the ruptured Achilles he suffered in the opening round of the playoffs against Indiana. He would take his time. He heads back to Portland, but a ceremonious homecoming nonetheless. TJ Watt ain't going nowhere either. After all 8 years of his NFL career in Pittsburgh, the contract dispute in the Steel City is over. A 3-year, $123 million extension. You do your math. That is $41 million per year. TJ Watt becomes the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the NFL, the face of the franchise of the Steelers.
$108 million guaranteed. And if anybody thought that the Pittsburgh Steelers like, yeah, we're going to get Aaron Rodgers, we're going to go out and get DK Metcalf, let's go trade away TJ Watt and get younger on the defense. No, this is a year where they think they can be all in to do some damage. TJ Watt is a massive part of that defense. And by the way, did anybody remember, like, Mike Tomlin's favorite player maybe in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers? It's TJ Watt. He was always coming back. He deserves to be paid, and he got paid. Hey, Trey Hendrickson, how you feeling today, buddy? Just checking in.
Hey, Micah Parsons, how are you feeling? On The Undertaker's, this is not a Mad Lib, on The Undertaker's 6 Feet Under podcast, Micah Parsons slams Jerry Jones. Quote, we obviously wanted to get done early. We want that relief, but obviously ownership is always going to make it drag out, make it more complicated than it has to be. Micah Parsons still awaiting that contract extension after his rookie deal. His final year under contract in Big D about to begin.
I love it. And I love this for one simple fact that once again, they waited probably an extra few days too long and the market just got reset again. So you have to rip up all the paperwork that you've been going over. I don't know what Dallas does, but they're terrible at managing the salary cap, but fantastic at making money. It almost doesn't make sense.
We'll talk more about it. Fantastic at drama as well, DRS. A judge in Dallas County, by the way, hands down the sentence to Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice for his involvement in a multi-car accident in the Dallas area over a year ago. 30 days of jail time, 5 years of probation. Now that the sentence in the court has been handed out, we expect the NFL League's office and their discipline for Rashee Rice and a suspension that ESPN's Adam Schefter reports could be multi-game to be dropped very soon.
Yeah, which is not good news for the Chiefs. But also understand this. You get the 30 days in jail, but if you are walking astray for the next 5 years, you get hit up with probably more jail time as well. He's got to be straight as an arrow over the next 5 years.
We'll talk more about this later. Mike Williams announces his retirement from the LA Chargers after 8 years in the NFL, the first 7 in Los Angeles. Caitlin Clark, sadly, due to the groin injury, will have to sit out All-Star Weekend, both the game, DRS, and the three-point contest on this Friday night. The All-Star game, of course, in Indianapolis. All of that, plenty more of it later. The Open Championship next.
Oh, yeah. Time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early. They're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off. They're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with 1 entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single-season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
A quick update from Royal Portrush and the Open Championship. Brian Harman, the 2023 champion golfer of the year, DRS. He continues to fire on this Cut Day Friday in Northern Ireland. He is now 5 under through 13 holes. He is 7 under on the tournament overall. He has opened up a 2-shot lead at the top of the Open leaderboard. Brian Harman, who won the Open Championship and that Claret Jug at Royal Liverpool 2 years ago in 2023, that a Ryder Cup year. The American making a push to maybe be on the U.S. side come late September at Bethpage Black. Speaking of that American Ryder Cup team, how about Captain America? Player, coach, a real reality. Keegan Bradley, 4 under today. He's T7, 3 under par.
Yeah, that it's funny because like you usually know like who's going to win the Masters, who's going to be up top because it's a specific type of golf that you play. Same thing with the U.S. Open. Oh, it's going to be real tough. You need a guy that's going to be able to hit fairway to fairway, green to green, putt decently. But it always feels like we have these surprise stories at the Open Championship in the UK, and you say to yourself like, why would that be? Well, you never can underestimate the wind, the rain, and also the golf courses. Right. Just using the shape and your imagination as opposed to just hitting beautiful irons from 160 out. That's why you get some of these guys that play extremely well say, I'm not the prettiest golfer, but you know what? I can hit this ball low. I can have a great running game where guys typically like a Phil Mickelson, like, oh, come on, man, I'm 120 feet away. I'm going to hit a flop shot. Oh, no, I can't use that all week now. And that usually plays into it. So I technically enjoy early in the week getting some of these guys at the top of the leaderboard, but everybody's the same. Once you get to Sunday morning, you want to see the big boys in there. You want to see 5 of the top 10 in the world in the top 15 trying to get after it at that point or in the top 20. That's what I'm hoping for. But look at Harman. Just 5 under, man, in a major. Let it rip.
DRS, we will ask Keith Stewart in our second hour what the conditions look like. You always talk about draws in a major championship. If you tee off in the early window in the opening round, you tee off in a later window on that second round Friday, vice versa, late, early. The late guys are now going to be out there early, as we are seeing in DRS. They are taking advantage. Multiple people, multiple under par. Tyrrell Hatton is 2 under. He and Harris English tied for second at 5 under par. Keegan's 4 under. And a couple of big names, Ludwig Oberg and Tommy Fleetwood, both 4 under par on this Friday in their second round, 2 under for the tournament and the championship overall. Again, plenty of updates coming on this Cut Day Friday from Royal Portrush throughout our 3 hours. But we start, DRS, with a monumental contract for a monumental star in the NFL in the face of the franchise in Pittsburgh. A contract extension is done, and it makes TJ Watt the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. A 3-year, $123 million deal. That is $41 million per season of annual average value. TJ Watt, no longer Jamar Chase, no longer Myles Garrett, who held the distinction earlier in the offseason. TJ Watt, now the highest paid non-QB ever in the National Football League.
He's giving a standing ovation right now. Not Mike Tomlin saying, hey, welcome back in the building. We're going to have our guy at the start of training camp. It's Darius Slay. It's Jalen Ramsey. And it's Joey Porter Jr. going like, oh, my goodness. Now I only have to cover for 1.5 seconds here because that defensive line / outside linebacking core is going to absolutely wreak havoc. Highsmith, Harmon, Hayward, and Watt, when they are healthy, you don't need to blitz anybody. It covers up and it masks so many mistakes in the secondary. Hey, blown my coverage. Doesn't matter. Quarterback is on his back. For a guy that had 1 year, 22.5 sacks, right in the middle of his prime, and you're figuring you're probably making one of those last runs with Mike Tomlin because if it doesn't work out this year with Aaron Rodgers, it's not because TJ Watt didn't get to the quarterback. It's just because the team wasn't good enough on offense, which includes Aaron Rodgers. This had to happen. Everybody knew it should happen. We knew what the pay scale was going to be, and nobody's looking at this deal going like, man, they paid him a lot of money. No, you know what you're saying, Liz? Good for Pittsburgh. TJ Watt's back in camp. Let's get after it now.
The only thing you could argue, DRS, from the financial impact of Watt signing this contract, he's 30. He turns 31 in October, and yet still handsomely rewarded. It is just a 3-year deal. He is deserving of it to become the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. By the way, a distinction that Watt has earned now at 2 different junctures in his NFL career. DRS, there was a contract dispute, right? TJ Watt was not there in Pittsburgh for voluntary OTAs. He was not there for mandatory minicamp. But it did not feel and does not feel like the bad blood perhaps between the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson. We knew this deal would get done. The Steelers report to training camp on Wednesday in Latrobe. Watt, not Aaron Rodgers, not anybody else, has been the face of the franchise in Pittsburgh since Big Ben called it a career. All 8 years with the Steelers after being a first-round pick back in 2017. He has been a Pro Bowler at bare minimum each of the last 7. He has been a 5-time All-Pro performer, including last year. He was the 2021 Defensive Player of the Year award winner. He has led the NFL in sacks 3 of the last 5 years. Last year, DRS, he did not lead the NFL in sacks, still led the National Football League in creating havoc, as he led the NFL in forced fumbles. You mentioned earlier the guaranteed money, $108 million. Probably that was intended. Conveniently, it is the career amount of sacks that Watt has compiled, 108. The 73.5 that he has over the span of the last 5 years, that leads the National Football League as well.
But you know what I like the best of this is they understand that, like, OTAs are one thing, and certainly for a defensive end. OTAs for like a quarterback hold down. It's like, come on, man, we need our leader in here. We got to get the offense set. We got to install our programs here before we get into the summer months. But do you remember the last time, I believe it was TJ Watt holding out, sort of battled with some like soft tissue injuries when he got back in the fold? He's going to be able to go through all of training camp. So when you know it's game number one, he's just not turning it on saying, hey, let's just let loose and see what happens. That's what I like about this. We'll talk about some other guys that may be missing out on camp or being unhappy about that. But now you know TJ gets that even because you can work out all you want, Ben, on your own. It's not the same as being with the boys, sweating it up in camp and getting your grind and building up what they say the calluses, right? That's what needed to happen. So now you look at Pittsburgh heading into training camp. There's no excuses. There's no distractions. And that's a big win.
No doubt. 8.5 still the win total for the Steelers. The under still has the juice. It remains a plus 140 price for Pittsburgh to make the playoffs. But because of TJ Watt, Pittsburgh has been a top 10 scoring defense each of the last 3 years. In the previous 2, the Steelers have made it to the postseason. More NFL news and contract news next.
Need help with your NFL picks? Get NFL insider knowledge from Pro Football Doc, Dr. David Chow, with Sick Picks at Sports Injury Central. We reveal hidden injury advantages the sports books miss. Our doctors provide insights, and our algorithm tells you who to bet on. Spreads, player props, totals, in-game bets, Sick Picks covers it all. Get a free week now with promo code SportsGrid at SickScore.com.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 18.5 points live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Want to play roulette? Here's a tip. European roulette has a lower house edge than American style. The lower the house edge, the better shot you have at winning. Most online casinos offer European roulette. So, if I were you, I'd get spinning. Now, go get lucky. See you in Lost Pages. Let's...
A big day of contract news. First in the NFL with training camp right around the corner. Then we'll get to the association and Damian Lillard's return to the Portland Trailblazers. DRS TJ Watt becoming the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. 3-year deal worth $123 million, 41 mil per year. Based on that annual average value, he moves past Myles Garrett, moves past Jamar Chase to earn the distinction once again for the second time in his illustrious NFL career as the highest paid non-QB, which makes Micah Parsons' comments, again, fascinating, on the Undertaker's 6 Feet Under podcast even more alarming. What we know Jerry Jones likes to do is wait to the very last second. For the drama? Sure. For the financial flexibility and foresight? Absolutely not. Because DRS, when people set the market, like Pittsburgh did yesterday, and you fail to pay Micah Parsons, who is entering the 5th year of his time in the NFL, and the final year of his rookie deal, you now have to match the market, not set it. So when Micah Parsons says, we obviously wanted to get a deal done early, and then blames ownership for dragging their feet, he's right.
He's absolutely right at this point. And also, credit Micah Parsons for being the good soldier. Like, we don't usually see this, like, hey, this deal's going to get done. I'm showing up to OTAs. I'm not bad-mouthing anybody. Like, we'll be around. I'll get my money. It's fine. And then seeing some of the best sack artists in the game re-up, getting paid more money than the next guy. And you're saying to yourself, like, I want to be a Cowboy. I've always told you guys I want to be a Cowboy. Like, I love it here. And all I do is wreck other teams' game plan on a day-to-day basis. If you look out outside the quarterback, what might be the most important position in professional sports, should I say just in the NFL, it's a sack artist on the outside that can mask so many mistakes that you have. And last time I checked, Dallas doesn't have a fantastic linebacker or secondary here that can afford Micah Parsons not playing or not being on the football field. But also this.
Yeah.
It is business sense. Like, we attack Ben so many times, like the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, why would you wait so long knowing that you're going to have to pay these guys? And every day you wait, the price of the brick just goes higher. And Dallas makes it like an art form. Let's not pay Dak for 5 years. Oh, my God. We made him the highest paid player in the history of the sport. Let's not pay Micah Parsons when he's due his contract. Oh, my God. We just made him the highest paid defensive player of all time. There are ways to avoid this. And so many times we just say to ourselves, Ben, the minute you have a franchise guy, the second that clock hits midnight, you can re-sign him. Just make him the highest paid player in the sport, because a month later, that bargain deal that you just signed, you said, you know what? I can't believe we spent this amount of money. It is an actual bargain deal. But for Micah, again, credit him for not flying off the handle going, I will not return to the Cowboys or put that helmet on until I'm 20% higher paid now than TJ Watt as the tax for you dancing me around for a year and a half.
Credit to Micah Parsons, DRS, to your exact point. And there was no conversation about being a holdout from training camp starting in Oxnard next week or anything like that. One of the reasons, though, we commend the New York Jets and new GM Darren Muji for paying Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson after their 3rd year, when they are still under team control in their discounted rookie scale for the next 2 seasons, and then you balance out the contract extension, is because you can tell those players, we are making history, and you are not lying. Sauce Gardner is the highest paid corner in the National Football League. The RS had Jerry Jones done the same thing with Micah Parsons last offseason. He could have made Micah Parsons the highest paid non-quarterback ever and the highest paid edge rusher in the history of the NFL for a little bit more than $35 million. Now there are 4 edge rushers in the NFL that make more than $35.5 million. All 4 of them, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Danielle Hunter, signed their contract extension this offseason. If Jerry Jones did this last year when he had the opportunity to, they could have made Micah the highest paid edge rusher ever. He would have been thrilled. Dallas would have been thrilled. Jerry Jones would have got his moment in the sun to say, see, I'm pretty good. And it would have been a discount in less than 12 months. But that's not what they do, and now they're going to have to foot the bill because of it.
And the negotiations aren't very hard. You might say, oh, it's complex. Like, we'll get back to that TJ Watt story in just a moment. Like, oh, it's been in the work for months. Has it really? Like, here's what the last top edge pass rusher got. I want a little bit more. Done deal. Like, that's the negotiation. Like, it's harder to probably negotiate, Ben, like the 15th best defensive pass rusher in the NFL. It's like, ooh, should he get a little bit more, a little bit less? Like, no, when you're in that top 5, you just get the top money. It's just the way it goes. And by the way, coming back from the break, I need that picture back up from TJ Watt. It's looking pretty stylish. I'm going to point it out, by the way. How about that?
There you go. All right, a little bit more NFL and contract news up next on TEL.
Oh, yeah. Time for the sprint. Let's go streaking here. Don't I mean streaking through the quad. I mean streaking in Major League Baseball, which is what the Boston Red Sox actually are doing right now, Tom. 9-11, 9-12 on the rotation.
You have to put some stock into them, especially with their hitters. What the Red Sox are doing, they're scoring runs early. They're scoring runs late. Doesn't matter if it's a walk-off. They're putting up runs consistently, hits consistently.
Pro Baseball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
How are you going to compete against a guy with 15 entries?
A lot of the guys that won Survivor at the Circa, because since I'm there every single year for contest weekend, one guy won it all with one entry. And the truth is, he told me that he maxed out his entries the next year because he had the money to do it, and it was a brain. It messed with his brain, right?
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Judge is great, but if you want to talk about full contributions to a team, maybe I'm biased as a former catcher myself, but I think Cal Raleigh's working a little bit harder than everybody else, and I think Cal Raleigh should be right in this thing. If he sets that single-season home run record for a catcher, I think that's probably what it's going to take for him to overtake Judge. I don't think it's impossible for him to get there. I think it's unlikely.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of
15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, Mr. Fashion Police. I did not expect to break down TJ Watt's look after becoming the richest non-quarterback in the history of the NFL. Certainly a lot of money to go out there and spend on whatever that attire or fashion needs to be. DRS, what did you notice here that you want to explain to our viewers?
Yeah, taking a look, like I'm reading through. I'm like, yeah, guys makes a lot of money. I'm like, okay, and I do a double take. It's like, they messing with me behind the scene. They put my picture up because I have a return monitor, but you can't look at the return monitor, man, right? While you're trying to pay attention to the show and have some fun. So I just glance at it. I'm like, man, this guy's got a great haircut. Does he go to Canvas Salon, over by me here in South Jersey? I'm like, where is he getting this haircut? Because I got an appointment today about 3:00. Looking good, but look, I got a $108 million fully guaranteed haircut as well as TJ Watt. So the people out there DRS doesn't do much with his hair. I mean, listen to the superstars out there in these streets. TJ Watt, your boy DRS, nice haircuts, successful. I played football. He plays football. It all goes together, man. It's a great helmet haircut. It really is.
Can we get that side by side once again?
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's almost like the Spider-Man meme.
Beautiful.
It's some might call it the Caesar.
Do I have to get the
I'm not
goatee
saying
back?
I would. Yeah. I think it looks good. Maybe you should, DRS. You ever think about growing out the facial hair?
Look, by the way, I can't stand, I've had goatees in my life. I can't go more than 30 hours without shaving because I would itch my neck off the minute I had any stubble there. And I remember, here's a good part about this. Back in the day, I used to work in a different business, obviously, but when the Eagles would go on a playoff run, a couple of the guys would hey, let's grow our beards out. It was the NHL.
At the
Eagles were going a long playoff run. I'd be struggling. No, even before that. I'm talking early 2000s when the Eagles weren't used to, we were used to getting to conference championship games and losing. Oh, the itch was incredible. I don't know how people have the neck beard /beard. Can't do it, man. Just can't do that.
Listen, you can have all the money in the world. Guys that have earned a lot of money. TJ Watt, Kirk Cousins. If you've been watching the Netflix documentary quarterback series, Kirk is a champion of great clips. So I'm not saying TJ Watt's hairstyle or haircut is bad, by the way, my co-host. I think you look very nice. I'm just saying sometimes they don't embellish in what their hairstyle can be. So Micah Parsons waiting for his payday. By the way, Micah just turned 26. TJ Watt is 30. Even more reason to pay Micah Parsons as early as possible. Some wide receiver news quickly, DRS, yesterday around the NFL. Mike Williams, who was returning to LA. He was the 7th overall pick by the Chargers back in 2017. Spent the first 7 years of his NFL career with Los Angeles. Last year, a mixed match season between first the New York Jets, then the Pittsburgh Steelers, or vice versa, whatever way that it was. Back in LA, but had not been working out this offseason with the Chargers due to an undisclosed injury. The Bolts, who sent their veterans to camp on Saturday afternoon, this previous Saturday, had him, Mike Williams, listed on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform. Then yesterday, Mike Williams, at the age of 30, but often dealing with injuries, DRS, announces his retirement from football.
Yeah, it's not good for the Chargers. Now, what were the expectations? Oh, no, we just lost, Justin Jefferson. No, you didn't. But what you were hoping for is you can get that veteran presence and do what he does. Get open deep, make those tough catches that are contested, and can sort of help out McConkey and help out some of the younger speed that you have in that lineup. It's the one thing we talked about when we were going like division by division, Ben, team by team. The worry is not the offensive line. I love that. The worry is not the quarterback. Love Justin Herbert. The worry is not the running back position or even the slot wide receiver. It's the competence on the outside. When I said, you know what? The LA teams, the Rams and the Chargers, boy, if I could have switched one player from one franchise to the other, it was going ahead and getting, Devontae Adams on the outside for the Chargers. And my goodness, you would have a rocket ship of an offense. I'm not saying they can't move the football. I'm not saying they can't win that division or even make the playoffs and win a playoff game or two. But I just needed more of that. All right, comfort on the outside. I know it's handled. Now we're back to, hey, Quentin Johnston, hey, catch the ball with your hands, not your forehead. Come on.
DRS, we talked a lot yesterday about second-round picks starting to sign their deals in a flurry of it. The second-rounders, really for the first time in NFL history this year, asking for guaranteed money. Some of them getting fully guaranteed money. Trey Harris, not necessarily fully guaranteed in L.A., but the second-round wide receiver out of Ole Miss did sign his deal yesterday. He has been working out at camp. He is now on the practice field even more. He will be expected to take that leap. Did we think Mike Williams at 30, entering year 9, even if healthy this year, was really going to be the biggest needle mover for that LA offense? No. Is it unfortunate, however, that he is retiring because of his health at only 30 years old? Absolutely. More wide receiver news, DRS, in the AFC West. The young star for Kansas City, Rashee Rice, who was injured last year after only 4 games, involved in a multi-car crash last year in the Dallas area. Yesterday, a Dallas County judge offering up his sentence, 30 days of jail time that can be served over a 5-year probation period. So the actual legal ruling in the courtroom has now been settled in terms of that, DRS, the NFL's league office and its disciplinary arm. They get to work in serving up whatever the suspension is going to be for violations of the NFL's personal conduct policy. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting yesterday, more than likely a multi-game suspension. When that punishment is handed down, that's the next question.
Oh, yeah, that punishment's going to get handed down quickly because usually what's the NFL do? It takes that cop-out sometimes. We'll let the legal course run through, and it takes 2 years, and then the guy's out of the league or they bang him with a suspension. This guy just got dropped with a 30-day jail sentence and 5 years of probation. So the NFL probably should act quickly. And also, you are a partner in the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs. They want to know sooner than later. Ben, they don't want to be in week 7 where Rashee Rice having a great season. By the way, he's done for 8 games. And you're like, or in December, he's done for the playoffs. Like, you want to know sooner than later, which is not a good thing for Kansas City on the field because there is a suspension coming. But let me ask you this question. Like, I just heard the explanation was like a 30-day jail sentence to be served possibly over 5 years, which means like do a couple weekends in the off season. What would you rather do? Yeah. Like, would you rather do the 30 days all at once or like a weekend here or there? I actually would rather do the 30 days to get it out of the way as opposed to, well, I'm going to do a weekend, which is 2 days, and that's 15 like separate weekends. Like, just get it done. But also, they work with you a lot of times, right? Hey, 30-day suspended jail sentence. The minute the season is over, you can serve it up in February, January, or, February, March, or April to get that out of the way. I doubt it's like, hey, by the way, that jail sentence is starting at Thanksgiving and goes 30 days and then a suspension on top of that. It's tough for Kansas City to adjust to, but I would assume they would pick up the phone and say, can we get this ruling sooner than later? And they'll probably acquiesce that and give it to them.
The Chiefs go to training camp next week. You would assume, DRS, by the start of it in KC or for KC, they will know what that is. All right, elsewhere, more contract news as we go to the NBA. A rather shocking development, but cool just from the nostalgia perspective of Damian Lillard returning to his NBA home of Portland. He spent the past 2 years in Milwaukee, a disaster for Dame and the Bucks, but the first 11 of his NBA career in the Rose City. Dame is back with the Blazers on a 3-year, $42 million deal that includes a no-trade clause and a player option for the 2027-28 season. Does this change things for Portland this upcoming year? No, Dame is recovering from a ruptured Achilles that he suffered in the playoffs against the Indiana Pacers. He just turned 35 on Tuesday. Happy belated B-Day to Dame, by the way, but he is back in Portland. It's cool, DRS. It's nostalgic. But again, we kind of thought that Dame would maybe go to a surefire championship contender. The Blazers, even with some young talent, are not that.
I mean, I guess you could just equate it to this. Like, you see Milwaukee, like Giannis, like nobody's a free agent wants to go live in Milwaukee. They don't. So you got to keep your superstar happy and cut Dame Lillard and pay a ton of money to get other players, which doesn't make any sense on your roster and probably won't make you better. Portland's the same way. No superstar wants to go to Portland there. So you go, oh, well, Dame actually wants to be back here and this is going to hurt us. It sort of brings back those vibes where Kobe Bryant was in LA. Great basketball player, horrendous basketball team, but maybe he could sell a couple extra seats and be a star in the building. That's Dame. And also from a perspective of what Dame wants, Dame just doesn't care about championships, and that's okay. Like, he makes a lot of money. He can do that and continue to lose in Portland. Can have it both ways, I guess.
Listen, Kobe got 5 in LA as we make those comparisons. More on Dame later. MLB next.
There's a possibility that we could be looking at DeBoer wondering if he's the long-term answer at coach for the Tide?
I'm starting to feel like Alabama, I can't believe I'm saying this, Craig, is a sleeper. 4th easiest schedule in the SEC this year. Ryan Williams is back. I think the friendly, these early season games against Florida State and Wisconsin, that is friendly for Alabama.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Paige Beckers, ready folks, is a top 10 WNBA player right now. You ever heard of the band Gladys Knight and the Pips? Yeah, it's Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. That's what she's got. You know what that means? She's got nobody. Enrique Wumwale has been awful this year. I don't know if she wants to play there or not.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Her ability to defend, shoot the 3, rebound, pass the ball, and on a team that is awful. Right now, training to get the #1 overall pick if they win the WNBA lottery. Possibly to draft her buddy AZ Fudd, maybe. But when you look at Paige Beckers is a top 10 player in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Obviously, he didn't do great in the last 2 majors, and we're going home here. We're going to Northern Ireland, Royal Portage. This is Rory's the reason why we're going here. Got off to a rough start, throwing his tee shot out of bounds back in 2019. I think he'll be ready. Not yet ready to call him the winner. I still have a couple of days before I do that, but it is a home game for him. And as you saw, based on this weekend, he is playing well.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
As my co-host Donnie Rightside has said numerous times this week, a week in sports media and in the sports calendar often referred to as Hell Week or Hump Week in a large way. Well, that is now over because a full slate Friday brings us back to the Major League Baseball diamond. The MLB All-Star break now fully over. The second half or the stretch run post All-Star break begins today. Again, we've got all 30 clubs, 15 games of action. And DRS, just to say, once again, I will finish with this point. I'm so happy I can be done saying it. It's not the halfway point. It's not exactly in the middle, kind of like WNBA All-Star Weekend for the 162 of MLB. All 30 clubs have played at least 95 of their 162 games. So it is more firming up your playoff races. And we are now under 2 weeks away from the trade deadline in Major League Baseball, coming the final day of July, Thursday, July 31st as well. So one last chance before we get to our third hour, where we'll break down the entirety of this full slate Friday to reset where everything is and show you the importance of where these teams begin following the All-Star break. Our division leaders, DRS, first in the National League. What that playoff picture looks like at this current moment. The Dodgers have a 5.5 game lead in the National League West. They are the top team in the NL still, would be that one seed by a half game in front of the Cubbies, who have a 1 game lead in the NL Central. The Phillies still holding on to a half game advantage over the New York Mets in the NL East. But the Brewers, the hottest team in the National League, 7 consecutive wins into the All-Star break. Now that top wild card spot. The Mets have the second. The Padres a half game advantage over their divisional mates in the Giants for the third and final NL wild card spot. San Francisco not all that far back. St. Louis kind of cooling down after being one of those more positively surprising teams to start off the year, but still only a game and a half back. DRS are the Redbirds from a wild card position.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch it play out and also understand this. When we get the extra wild card that they put in just a few years ago, that means those teams that aren't used to making the playoffs are still hanging around. Thus, the trade deadline in 2 weeks makes it harder to acquire players from those teams unless they're just adamant about selling and it's not going to work out. We're going to shed payroll, which, it used to be the farm systems that we joke. The Kansas City Royals, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and the Miami Marlins would just fire up their best players. Who wants them? Come take them. Dodgers, Yankees, Philadelphia Phillies, whoever it might be. Come in and get that extra help to fortify your bullpen, your starting rotation, and or your 1 through 9 on a day-to-day basis. But there is a lot of baseball to play. That's what we always look at and say, well, this team's 5 back, this team's 6 back. You can make that up in a week and a half. But it is also been so hard to climb teams because you might just look at the wild card race and say, we're 5.5 games back. But not if 5 teams are in between you. It's not one team you're looking to chase down. Hey, they've all 6 in a row. We won 6 in a row. We're in first place. You might win 6 in a row and somebody else wins 6 in a row. It's like other team wins 5 in a row. Oh, we gained a half of a game here. That really didn't help us out. That's what makes it so hard to climb those standings. Also, some of those teams, like the Cardinals, we didn't even anticipate them being in the race post All-Star game at this point, right? We're heading into the month of August. So teams are still giving themselves, and here's what you want to watch out for. Because coming back to that, I got like a couple spots here with like some underdogs, which we'll go over a little bit later in the show. But you understand the pressure on the organizations. Yes, it's the All-Star break, but coming right out of that break, looking at, let's just say, the Atlanta Braves, double-digit games back. They might say, we have 7 days here. You cut that under 10, we'll help you a little bit. We're not going to go all in because we still probably don't think we're making the playoffs. But you know what makes that decision easier on Marcell Ozuna? Hey, we're 12 games back. Oh, after a week, we're 14 games back. Yeah, we're selling. We'll give you guys like a week to 10 days to right the ship to show us we might be in for the wild card or else we're completely selling out. It's an interesting 1.5 to 2 weeks coming up here.
DRS, it's a really good point as well. And you could look at 2 teams not included in that graphic that certainly had playoff hopes and minus money or near minus money playoff prices. The Arizona Diamondbacks, 5.5 games out of a wild card spot. You mentioned the Braves in the National League East, 12.5 games behind the Phils, 9.5 out of even a wild card spot with plenty of teams log jammed in between. Again, the Braves had the second best price to win the National League pennant before the year got underway. Now plus 1,300 to make the postseason. The Diamondbacks plus 920 to get to the postseason, and you see those pennant prices on your screen. DRS, the Cardinals, 18-21 since June 1st. They were 33-25 through the end of May, basically the opening 2+ months of the MLB season. Cooling off ever so slightly, maybe looking the way we more so expected before this year got underway. But St. Louis in a great position already to sky over their 75.5 win total, 51-46 at the break. Donnie, when you look at the teams outside of the wild card picture right now, Brewers, Mets, Padres, all in those 3 spots, all with a minus money price. San Diego, the worst, but still minus 160 to earn an NL wild card spot. Are there any teams behind the Padres that you think can make some noise to earn a postseason spot that could be a long shot at this moment?
It's a great point you bring up because you see like the Diamondbacks floating around 5.5 games back of that wild card, but there are serious talks. The rumors going around like Eugenio Suarez is up for sale, which means they don't think they can make the playoffs. And if they do, it's not really worth their while in some of their veteran guys because that's one of those teams usually would circle 47-50. They got enough talent to sort of bounce back into it, but I don't think they're going to allow their team to do that. The St. Louis Cardinals, I'm just going on preseason expectations. Yeah, they're playing good baseball. Sonny Gray's having a pretty good season. Are they going to make any moves to change up? Because they're only a game and a half back. I don't trust it. The only team I guess you could say is, and it might be cheating, where it's like, okay, the Padres are a half game above the Giants. Like the Giants have a pretty good lineup when they're healthy, 1 through 9. They got the Devers deal. Maybe he turns into, electricity post All-Star break. You have some really good frontline starting pitching with Logan Webb's one of the best in Major League Baseball. That's probably the only team that I would trust. The Reds are fun, yes. The Diamondbacks look like they might sell. The Atlanta Braves, come on now. The Miami Marlins, no, it just doesn't look like it's going to be that way. Yeah. So for me, if I had to pick one team, it's the team that's a half game out of the wild card. That's the Giants.
And the Giants and the Padres, of course, divisional foes. They will play each other 7 times post All-Star break. Could be very important, not only for the head-to-head, but tiebreaker advantages as well. Again, the Dodgers have and remain the incredibly short favorites to win their 2nd consecutive pennant. Plus 115, the price right now. It's even shorter than it was on opening day. Despite the Dodgers probably not getting to 105 or 110 wins, maybe not even 100, they still have the best record in the National League. We'll go to the American League up next.
Against him, I'm not surprised that he had no back down in his game because he is a player that plays with confidence and swag, and it was really cool to see him get the job done and the emotion at the 18th green with the interview with Amanda, especially for like a really kind of like Jersey boy.
Tough
Good to
Jersey
see a little emotion
with the gold necklace. You're like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah,
sure.
that was super cool.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
And Twitter started blowing up that I think it was someone from TSN that was in the arena that was posting this stuff. And I'm sure, like, when they, it's a beer league, so after the first period, when they're all sitting there in the room, I'm sure somebody said, hey, Connor, you're getting lit up on Twitter. We're beating you 4-0. Ha, ha, ha. And he's probably thinking, like, I can't even play a beer league game without you guys, like, saying what the score is.
Sports Rage tonight, only on SportsGrid.
I showed you the Heisman odds a week or two ago, and they had Garrett Nussmeier as the 2nd favorite behind Manning. So Brian Kelly's very excited to have Garrett back at school.
He is no athlete, in my opinion. You can quote me on that. Like, he is a clumsy white dude, and he sucked. I'm being nice now. Now all of a sudden you're talking about him being great? Oh, slow down there, Coach.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Shohei Ohtani can do something that nobody else in Major League Baseball can do. That means being maybe one of, if not the top 5 best hitters in baseball, and then go on the mound and throw some gems out here. Like, he's threw 9 innings so far in his season, which isn't a lot, but that ERA is at 1. Are we saying that once he gets to 5 and 6 innings, that ERA is going to stay at 1? No, it isn't. But if it does, my goodness. I mean, just hand him the Cy Young on top of it as well. It's cheating.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
From the NL to the American League playoff picture, where in the AL, the best team in baseball resides. That is still the Detroit Tigers by a full game in front of the LA Dodgers at 59-38. DRS, the Tigers entered the All-Star break losers of 4 in a row, and yet maintain that best record in the bigs and an 11.5 game lead atop the American League Central. Second best record in the AL, the Houston Astros, 56-40. Also a precarious final week entering the All-Star break. They dropped 5 of 6 after being 24-8 since the beginning of June. The best team in baseball at that moment since the start of June, but not their finest form entering the break. One of the other hottest teams in the bigs, the Toronto Blue Jays, who were riding a 10-game win streak into the final week ahead of the break, lost their final 2 of their final weekend set, and yet maintain a 2-game lead over the Yankees in the AL East at 55-41. So, Tigers, Astros, Jays are 3 divisional leaders. The Yankees, though, not all that far behind. The hottest team in baseball, that's Boston. 10 straight wins into the All-Star break and now earning a wild card spot, at least a potential of it right here, right now. The Mariners playing pretty good baseball in the final week of that season before the All-Star break as well. 51-45, now maintaining a 1.5 game advantage over the Rays for that third and final wild card spot around the AL.
Yeah, expectations for the American League. You take a look at the West. I expect the Houston Astros to win that division. They have a 5-game lead, not insurmountable down the stretch, but I just look at what the Mariners have, the Rangers have, and let's just say what the Angels have. They just seem like the best team to me. Then you go over to the Central. It's the Detroit Tigers. They would have to, I don't know how you would implode losing, out by 12 games post All-Star break to teams that are probably selling. Like Byron Buxton, we're hearing that's going left and right. Phillies, Mets, whoever he might go. So they're probably selling. Same thing with the Kansas City Royals. They're not going to do anything. But then we flip it over to the American League East. It's like, oh, wow. Toronto's in first place, but only by 2 games, and only 3 games over the Boston Red Sox and 5.5 games over the Tampa Bay Rays. So that one seems to be up for grabs. And also, where are those wild cards coming from? Because if you look at the Central, it looks like it's just going to be the division winner and no wild cards, which then opens up the other spots. And the team that I'm looking forward to is having that second half season that's intriguing. Like, it is the Seattle Mariners. Like, we are going to watch Cal Raleigh try to hit 60 home runs, 55-plus home runs in an MVP race. But they are talented enough where they can steal a wild card spot from a Yankees, from a Red Sox, or a Tampa Bay Rays, right? But we've seen this too many times before. Hey, second half of the season, the Logan Gilberts, the Brian Woos, they're pretty good, but they keep losing 3-1 on a night-to-night basis. That's the team that has a lot to play for. It's the Mariners trying to hold off the Texas Rangers, which we picked a few days ago. Hey, which team are we looking forward to in the second half of the season, or maybe with a chance to get a wild card spot at a plus money number to make the playoffs? That was the Rangers for me. But I take out the Central with the Tigers. I focus on the Mariners. But really, who is going to win that AL East here? Is it going to be the Blue Jays? Because that secures an automatic spot into the playoffs. Is it the Yankees that are going to be floundering? And also, that new look Boston Red Sox team, that 10 wins in a row up to the All-Star break. Athletic, fun, fast, and energetic right now. That's what you like to see.
And they've got some really good pitching as well. Garrett Crochet in American League Cy Young contention starting there for the Sox. DRS, the Rangers are that compelling team. Plus 330 price to earn a postseason spot. You bet that. I said that would be my team to watch. They are a game below 500. They beat their rivals in state and in division. The Astros in 2 of 3 games in the final weekend. In DRS, nobody has allowed fewer runs this year than the Rangers because of how elite their starting staff has been. Most notably, Nathan Eovaldi, who had earned an all-star bonus despite not going to the all-star game, and the veteran Jacob deGrom, who looks like he did at 25, now here in his mid-30s. Again, 346 runs given up this year by Texas, the fewest around Major League Baseball. But there was a point just about a month plus ago, DRS, they had only scored more runs than one team in the bigs. That was the Rockies. Not as of late. 5+ runs scored for Texas in 10 of their last 13 games entering the break. They are still 3 games behind, or 3.5 behind Seattle, their own divisional foes, for that third and final wild card spot. Yeah, 3.5 to be exact. But I do give the Rangers a puncher's chance with a plus 330 price to earn a playoff spot as the second half resumes.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. A lot can be decided here, and we're just trying to say, okay, outside the break, who's going to get on that quick, hey, who wins 3 in a row, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to sort of catapult them. But again, changing it up at the end of the month at that trade deadline, you'll know who the winners and the losers are, but those are going to be determined by how they play over the next week.
We'll continue looking at the playoff picture around the bigs in hour 2 next.